the biggest form of communication. It's the way that I found to communicate with not only the public, but with myself, with close ones, and to also understand the world better. And also, it's a form of amazing beauty and of feeling good, of sharing your emotions with people, and of understanding everything better.
For me, it's also a way of communicating, a language actually, that we get to tell stories through sounds and through a combinations of sounds that brings us to memories, to places, and I think sometimes even awakes things inside of us that we didn't even know they were there.
I chose to be a singer. Actually, after starting with another instrument, I started playing the guitar, and I really loved it. But I noticed since the beginning that my family was not happy with me wanting to be a musician. So I had to really work hard on myself. I had to really look for opportunities and to show to them and to myself as well that I couldn't live without making music, without singing, without playing. And one thing led to the other. I started working really hard on my voice and on pronunciation, on languages. And at a certain point, I noticed I couldn't live without it. And my family also understood so. And then this is what happened. I ended up being a singer.
Well, for me, it was not really much of a choice. I think that if I would have to choose a moment, or to think about a moment where I chose to become a professional musician, it's when I decided to come to Europe and pursue the dream of continue my studies here in Europe. But my father played the guitar. The music was, since I was born in the family, there was always a guitar there. It was quite natural that me and my brother we got in touch with the instrument, and it's been honestly more of a life experience. I started playing the guitar at home, having fun with it, and then at some point someone told me, "Hey, you can go to the conservatory." What is that? Oh, you can learn guitar there. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. And I went to the conservatory, and then just life continued happening in the way that it just happened. But then, if I would have to think a moment of choosing, it would be the moment where I met my teacher, my current teacher, Marco Tamayo, amazing musician, amazing teacher, an amazing friend, and there I decided to pursue my studies in Austria.
Well, if I have to speak of a concert that was absolutely memorable, it was not a concert where I sang. It was actually a concert that I heard from one of my teachers. His name is Rio Novello, and he's also Italian. He was over 80 back then, but nevertheless, he sang amazingly. And I remember he sang an aria by Brazilian composer Carlos Gomes. And it was so beautiful, so touching, that even the orchestra cried. And I'll never forget that moment. As for a concert that I sang, I once sang at a home for older people who have Alzheimer, dementia, and I remember it was really hard to choose the repertoire, but I chose songs that I really loved singing and opera arias that I loved singing, and there was one particular aria by Rossini that I loved singing, and the public remembered that aria and sang it with me. So there were people with dementia and Alzheimer remembering the music, and that was very touching and very beautiful.
For me, I also have many good experiences in concert. Moments also a little bit like this where little kids from the mountains in Chile, we used to go and play there, and they would have never heard a guitar before. I mean, they were completely ignorance about this part of art. But if I would have to choose a concert memorable for myself, it was the day that I finished my bachelor studies in Chile, uh, because it was a very long story with the preparation for the exam, very difficult. And at the end, my whole family was there. All my friends were there, my mother, my grandfather, my uncle, my aunt, everybody was there, and it felt so good to play for them. And then we made a really big party, and everything was nice. But this moment was very special for me, and I keep it in my heart, I think, forever.
I don't think I can choose only one composer. For I really love almost every composer that I listen to, but I can say for sure that I love the music of Rossini, and I think that his story is also amazing, that he became a cook, and that he has one of the most memorable pieces ever, which is the Barbiere di Siviglia. I also love Puccini. I love every single one of his operas, but I also especially love Bohème, especially love La Rondine. I love the sonatas of Beethoven. I love almost every single work by Bach. I think that he's a genius. I mean, I don't think, I am sure. Everyone is sure that he's a genius.
Definitely.
Everyone can agree. Franz Liszt, Chopin, Villa-Lobos, there are many.
For me too. I cannot. It's a very tricky question to answer, because I cannot say that I have one favorite composer. I also love the music of Bach, Scarlatti, even before Palestrina. All these composers are such a. There's so many amazing composers. If I would have to name maybe one, I can't actually. Villalobos is amazing, the music that he wrote for guitar. We have also many composers in Latin America that wrote beautiful music, and they still do. But if I have to name one, it would be Mario Castelnuovo Tedesco. I think his music, it's really amazing. It touches me, in a special way. I don't know why. Maybe because of the language. I mean, the language that he uses in his music. But I don't think that we can actually say that we have a favorite composer. No.
Absolutely not.
No.
3 words to define me. That's also not easy to answer. I think I am a very brave person. I have courage to face difficulties and to face my fears, not only as a singer, but as a woman, as a human being, to face my shadows, face my insecurities. I also am a very empathic person. I think I identify myself with others very often, to the point where sometimes I forget about myself, but it's more good than bad. And I also am very sensitive and very caring. I care about others, I care having loved ones close, and I care showing that I care for people, that I love them, and also that I am enjoying my time with them.
Yeah, I would say about me 3 words. I forgot them already. No, I think empathy, yes, is something that defines me a little bit. Sensitivity for other people. Responsibility. I think it's something that has to be present in ourselves, in everything that we do. Human relationships, your profession or your work, and in taking things seriously, and trust. I consider myself someone trustworthy, and I hope never to disappoint myself in this. Yes, I think this would be enough to define myself a little bit.
We are loving our experience. We cared to choose composers, but also pieces that we identified ourselves in, and that showed a little bit of us, showed a little bit of the German world through Schubert, and also a little bit of Italian world with Giuliani, and that has a very, very strong connection with especially the guitar. And also with Villa-Lobos, we show not only our roots as South Americans, but our love for the music of South America through this amazing composer that Villa-Lobos was.
Yeah. A side note to that, my father used to talk to me about Villa-Lobos even before I was even playing the guitar. He already knew about it. And then I remember when I started to study in the conservatory. Villa-Lobos. Yeah. We're looking forward.
Yes. Other passions. I mean, my biggest passion for sure is music. So even when I'm not singing or not participating in a concert, I still care to listen to different things, different rhythms, maybe something that I am not used to. I love music in any sense, and also other instruments. I played a little bit the drums, I played the guitar, I know a little bit of the piano, and I also love languages. I love speaking with other people and understanding things in a different language. I love to cook, especially sweets, and I love to go to different coffee shops and try new things. And I also love to travel. I love other cultures. I love to be on the road. Maybe because my family also did a lot of road trips when I was younger. Yeah, we did a lot of traveling, so I love traveling.
I would like to define myself also as someone that a traveler. I actually love traveling, but I haven't done it enough. But the little things that I have done, I have to say that I have enjoyed so much.
Well, we still have time to do enough with traveling.
Yes, yes. To Italy I went so many times and I always had a good time there. So yes, even if I don't do it too much, I would like to see myself as someone that has passion for traveling. I love wine, red wine, yes. I love coffee. During the first quarantine last year, I started to do latte art, and I'm not that bad at it. I love music. Yes, it's been always like this. I like to do sports also, something that motivates me. And I love to party. I love to be with my friends. I love to have fun. I love to be outside.
We are musicians, but we are also normal people.
Exactly.
Well, for the ones who are considering studying music for real, yeah, going to a conservatory and doing it as a profession, taking it more seriously, I would say don't give up on your dreams. Always go back to your essence and the reason that you started to do music in the first place. People will try to deviate you from your path and to tell you how you should do things, but never take it too seriously what other people are telling you. Always go back to that beginning where you chose to do it because you loved it, because of the way it made you feel, or because of a special teacher, a special presence in your life. I think we receive a lot from other people, and you become a giver through doing music because of these special people that you had in the beginning of your studies. So if you have somebody special, never forget why that person was special to you, and take it seriously. Don't give up on looking for new things, trying new things, not being afraid of trying things out, and to just throw yourself whenever you have the chance. But be careful, choose the right experiences. I mean, of course, give yourself, but give yourselves for the meaningful things, things that have a purpose to you.
Yes, that's very, very good and very accurate. I think that going for it is it's a good concept that applies very well for us as musicians. When we take the path, it's implied that it requires bravery and resilience. Yes,
Diligence.
exactly. Discipline, and be aware that there is going to be a little bit of struggling. There's going to be a little bit of maybe discomfort, but at the end of the day, it's something that we choose to do because we love it. It's something that maybe also the students, the younger people, I mean, we are not that old, but the younger people are maybe a little bit afraid, but this is actually the way life goes. Sometimes we struggle with things, and this makes the reward even richer, because you then you have the chance to look back and to see how much you have worked for it, and then where you are, where the music had took you, where it's gonna take you. It's gonna be even more. It's gonna be even bigger, the reward. So I would say to the younger musicians, just go for it. It's a longer road, but for the soul and for the spirit, it's something totally worth it. Totally worth it.
And if I can complement what he's saying, also inspire yourself by other people, of course. Have your icons, have your references, but never forget that it's very important, for as hard as it is, to not compare yourself to others, especially in your progress. Because each person has their own pace and own timing, and just because things are not going as fast or as slow as you were expecting sometimes, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a meaning or that it doesn't have its value.
Yeah.
So take your time with things, but just never ever quit.
Yeah, it's a personal, how do you say, personal
Development?
Yeah, exactly. You don't compete with anybody.
Yeah.
Just compete with your own capabilities, with just to look for the best version of yourself.
Yes. Yes.
That's a very good thing to have in mind.